folks, Bob Reese with the Guides Forecast, giving you a fishing report for Monday, August 14th. Can't believe it's the 14th already. The days are cruising by, but salmon fishing today did get a little bit better for folks in the Buoy 10 area. The ocean was restricted to vessels 20 foot and smaller, and it would have not been a great idea to go outside, really, no matter how big your vessel was in the morning. We took, just to get this out of the way, we took advantage after the tide had flooded in for a little bit and went and checked some crab pots around the south side of the South Jetty, second half of incoming tide, and didn't do great on crabbing. Got about 28, probably 8 or 9 of them were soft shelled, but the other ones were in good shape. But yeah, we earned those crab. It wasn't unsafe, but it wasn't something I wanted to spend a lot of time fishing in. So that's the ocean situation, and it's going to be pretty snotty for the next several days. So ocean is really kind of off the table for a bit. So that leaves the river, of course, and folks are taking advantage of trolling at a fair speed, 2 to 3 miles an hour. They're still starting early despite a screaming outgoing tide, but you know, it's a minus tide, and the tides are sending us downstream at 2.5 to 3.5 miles an hour, which works for salmon. You know, but the problem is there's plenty of salmon around, but even when we're trolling slow enough to take advantage of these fish, they're still not biting. So the best action remains close to low slack in the first part of incoming tide. We've been spending a lot of time down by Chinook Wing Jetty 1 and catching that last trickle of outgoing in the first part of incoming. That's been very consistent. Not a bunch of bites, but enough to say it's consistent, which is a rare find in this fishery. So after that, you know, you got some decisions. Do you want to hopscotch them upstream, or do you want to head down to Buoy 10 and kind of wait for that rip to come through? And we've been heading west down to Buoy 10, fishing between, kind of doing the back and forth between, well, just north and south, fishing on the north side mostly of the Buoy 10, right where Buoy 10 is, and getting just a couple bites. You know, we got two chances before the rip came through. No chances when the rip came through. That's something that we've historically looked forward to, is when that rip comes through. Oftentimes there's coho right on the rip. There was a lot of bait, a ton of diving pelicans and mirrors, so there was no shortage of bait there, but there was a dramatic shortage of coho there. Now as the rip progressed through and we spent a little more time still in the same spot, we did come across some Chinook and some coho. We ended up landing 5 fish today. 3 were wild, 2 were hatchery, 1 hatchery Chinook and 1 hatchery coho. But you know, definitely for the 13th or 14th of August, we're not in an epic battle for having to worry about eating up the quota too fast. So catch rates, I heard a statistic that I probably won't be able to quote exactly, but about 400 more boats participating in the fishery, or maybe, I don't know. I think effort was up 10%, but catch was down about 400 fish from this time last year. So it's pretty clear that catch rates aren't as good this year as they were last year. So hopefully that enables us to keep with the fishery plan. You've heard me say before, that's not a regulation this year, it's a fishery plan. So hopefully that means some dynamic management strategies that we can wish big. Maybe we'll get something back instead of something taken from us. So all dynamic. So you know, folks are getting some action at high tide in the first part of outgoing tide. I'm going to go into more detail in the forecast section. So Chinook and Steelhead members, do log on to your accounts at theguidesforecast.com and check out the forecast section. I do have some interesting news for those folks that are interested in some pretty good tips. So look for that. Again, We really need folks to take a strong look at the Buoy 10 challenge coming up here in a couple of weeks from now. Log on to nsiafishing.org, sign up for the Buoy 10 challenge, and join us in helping a great organization raise money to fight for our fisheries. Stay safe, everybody. I'll give some more details about weather and fishing in the forecast section, so Steelhead and Chinook members, do log on to your accounts tonight and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks very much.